Gentlemen?
I'd say to poor Shaughn, to peace.
Yes.
Alright, let's rock and roll. No, let's rock and possibly roll.
Let's not get ahead of ourselves here.
No promises on this.
It's rad.
Welcome to the beginning of turn 1. We're all fully rested and ready to attack the day's challenges. So, the situation we have here right now is we have the defenders of the city of Quoris lined up. They've been surprised by a considerable lack of activity over here, and also the swirling darkness that has come down on them due to the presence of Imhotep the Stormlord and the opposing army. The first turn, at least, will be fought using the night fighting rules. The objectives have been placed. There are actually 3 objectives been placed on the bridge here. There's one right here in front of where the land raider for the Space Wolves is. There is one immediately in the center of the bridge. There is one behind where the Stoppa is deployed right now. There is an objective right in front of me here, right in front of the landing pad on this side. There is an objective in the Arboretum in the park. And then finally there is an objective on this helipad right here. Brenden and I will commence taking our first turn shortly, and it'll be good. So, it is midway through turn 1. Brenden and I have just had our first turn. As you can imagine, there wasn't a whole lot that has gone on. To begin with, some things came in. The stealth suits appeared on what is supposed to be the enemy's deployment zone, and they took a few wounds off the Catan, I believe. Demons arrived. The unit of Flamers suffered a deep strike mishap and will be joining us later in the evening. A unit of Horrors and a Bloodthirster arrived. The Horrors weren't really able to do much of anything, but the Bloodthirster was able to successfully kill a Cryptek with its Death Strike ability. The Chaos Land Raider on the bridge illuminated the opposing Land Raider with its searchlight, and then the Land Raider was destroyed by a shot from the cannon on the Stompa. Some members of the unit, some of the lesser members, the Fenrisian Wolves and the Iron Priest, were destroyed by the Planet Killer orbital bombardment. The unit of Longfangs that had been deployed down in the woods here suffered a lot of shooting at it from various sources. The Green Tide, several looted wagons, and various other things, and has been reduced down to a single wolf guard who is remaining. Beyond that, the Bastion, which was over here and had a squad of Longfangs in it, was destroyed by the area denial nodes, I believe felling some members of the unit. And the defense laser missed terribly. It was not good. It was bad. In fact, it was quite the opposite of good. So I am attempting to activate my Doomsday device in the defense of my homeworld. So I will state my demands now. So, Article 1. We hereby demand that the Space Wolves, Alaitoc Eldar, High Fleet Abyss Tyranids, and the Nefra Dynasty Necrons immediately cease all hostile action and withdraw from the system. And further to this, that the leaders of these respective forces, heretofore known as the belligerents, accept full and complete responsibility for this supreme offense against interstellar morality. And so, further to this point, that the Wolf Lord Marco Ragnos, Farseer Oran, Broodlord Janus, and Necromode Sotur immediately and unconditionally surrender themselves to the children of Oman to stand trial for their heinous crimes and damage inflicted upon the good people of where they will be judged according to the beneficent wisdom of Oman, and that in the interest of securing the lasting security and peace of the Erebus sector, that the Trepidation and Ithon systems will be immediately ceded to the control of the Tau Empire, and that in the same interest, the Ahriman system will be ceded to the Orcish Empire of Warlord Volgrim of Golbad, and further, that the Inquisitorial Fortress and Library of Masquerade will be immediately ceded to the use of the Children of Oman in partial compensation for the grievous damages inflicted upon their cultural heritage in this unwarranted invasion of their homeworld. And further, that the belligerents provide all necessary materials for the reconstruction of Quar and its defensive systems, and that in the continuing interest of securing lasting peace in the sector, that the belligerents limit their standing forces in the sector to no more than 250 men under arms, 25 military vehicles and aircraft, 5 vessels with interstellar capability. And finally, that the import of all weapons and military hardware to the sector be prohibited, and that the in-sector manufacture of such items be limited to only what is necessary to supply the above-noted forces. What say you?
That's an extremely well thought of list of demands, and
That sounds perfectly reasonable.
I applaud that. But as according to my new partner, but enemy from last year, the Aryan race will not back down.
Oh man, okay. Alright, well then that's...
And the Eldar will not surrender their leader, so...
No dice. Well, actually there's a dice now, so I'm gonna roll to see if this sucker gets activated.
Well, you're playing with that. Go ahead.
Hey-o! Ho! It's going off.
We waste no time
I
here.
was not expecting that.
So what's it gonna do?
We don't know yet.
This could be problematic.
11 is the one we want, right?
No, 11
Which
is
one
not
do
the
you
one you
Oh,
want.
we want 12, right?
Yeah. 8.
That's what we got last year.
Bursting with power, the Chaos player may place Apocalyptic Barrage anywhere on the battlefield with the following profile. Apocalyptic Barrage 4, Strength 8, AP 3, Pinning. Hey! Any vehicles are hit on his side armor. Okay. Okay. Well, the other highlight was the Doomsday device. Completely my eminently reasonable demands were rejected, unfortunately. It was a mistake on the enemy's part, but hey, what can you do? And the Doomsday device was activated, completely contrary to my expectations, and created a Apocalyptic Barrage, which took some members of the Long Fangs down. So now we'll just actually get a chance to get a look at this supposedly invading force on their turn. So, it is the end of turn 1. It has been a long, hard-fought turn. As you can see, there is a lot more on the board right now. About half of the Tyranids and the Eldar arrived on this turn. Not so much in the way of the Space Wolves or Necrons, but come on, Abby. The Nightbringer showed up. Most of the army came in through flank march, although, to be honest, there wasn't a lot of room for them to come in over on this side. Over here we had groups of Tyranid warriors that came in, as well as the Hierophant, a Venomthrope, and some Gene Stealers. We had Zoanthropes deep striking down over here, as well as the Doom M'yen'ka. We had several Carnifexes came in as well, both on here and over on that side. Over there you had the Trigon and Raveners come up from the ground, the Nightbringer come in from the edges. On the bridge here we had several squads of Gene Stealers and Lictors appear. The rest of the opposing force appeared on the back corners, including the Sunstorm Squadron, the Revenant Titan, the Nightwing, and of course the Vampire Hunter. At the beginning of the turn, the Cryptek used his Solar Pulse to remove the night fighting, which was in effect. There were some notable things that happened during the shooting phase. The Sunstorm Squadron annihilated the Land Raider with the Lords of the Black Crusade in it. The Revenant Titan fired at the Stompa and was able to reduce it down to 1 structure point. Also attacked one of the area denial nodes and took off a structure point on that. The Vampire Hunter hit the Doomsday device and destroyed it. However, in one final last act of spite, the Doomsday device let off another barrage, which took out several Gene Stealers and Tyranid warriors. The Hierophant fired at the defense laser and succeeded in taking off a structure point and preventing it from shooting the next turn. And then there was assorted small arms fire, but there wasn't a whole lot that went down in that regard. So in the assault phase, we had numerous combats, mostly featuring the Tyranids. The Tyranids assaulted essentially across the board. The Hierophant wiped out pretty much all of the big guns battery. The Doom of M'yen'ka killed several Chaos Space Marines, enhancing its wounds. The Carnifex charged one of the Defilers and was killed in the assault, but succeeded in destroying the battle cannon, one of the close combat weapons of the Defiler, as well as immobilizing it. We had a unit of 1,000 Suns that were wiped out by the Eye of the Hive. A squad of Killer Cans on the bridge here was wiped out by Gene Stealers, who are now locked in combat with a Death Dread. The Nightbringer assaulted several tank busters over there and killed a number of them, although took a wound in exchange. The Crisis Suit command team here was assaulted by several Lictors and several squads of Gene Stealers as well. The command team took several drone losses, it appears, and the Gene Stealers were mostly wiped out in exchange, although the Broodlord is still present there. So the Contemptor Dreadnought assaulted a team of battlesuits, took out several drones, but then the battlesuits decided to sacrifice the drones and withdraw from combat. And I believe, again, that is most of the major stuff that happened. So, moving on to turn 2 now. As you can see, it's a much fuller board, so we can actually get a real game get going now. It's going to be good. So, the attackers of the city of Quoris have shown themselves, and we'll see where it goes from here. Got this.
You outnumber us right now.
I am recording. Shaughn, are you recording?
Yeah.